accepted, which I can.
Get your first offer accepted. That's a big one. Well, it's
Guaranteed.
tough.
I don't know how to do it, but I can. This will definitely attract people.
Well, what happens if I don't get my offer accepted? Then what are you going to do?
I'm screwed. I don't know.
Get your first offer accepted, or I'll give you $5,000 when your next offer is accepted.
Ouch.
Yeah, right.
I'll pay your closing costs.
You'll pay your closing costs. Yeah, these are valid.
Or within 3 first offers.
Within 3 first offers isn't as impressive, but it's better than nothing.
Well, considering
guys
that
kinda
on average, you get probably buy a house for like, 5th or 7th offer if you're lucky.
But if I were your buyer, I'd just lowball my first one. I get that $5,000.
To get your $5,000. Yeah, but remember the $5,000 isn't cash in hand. It's $5,000 when you buy.
Right.
From your closing costs. So you get a $5,000 discount on the next house. Hopefully you didn't want this house. Right. Anyone else care to throw out a buyer's message, if you will? Yeah.
We have the right strategy in this super hot market to actually win a bid. We'll go
Right
through
strategy.
your financial conditions, and I'll share with you how to craft an offer that has the highest chance of getting accepted.
It's a good message. I like it.
Who would like 17% down on a home in Santa Clara County paid for by a special first-time buyer program? Call me.
Okay, first time buyer programs. Absolutely. Very good message for first times, for if you're prospecting first time buyers.
Keller Mortgage. Use that as your lead line.
What about Keller Mortgage can we use?
You can use the 0 Plus program. Advertise that and use Keller's own advertising right off their website.
Very good. Leverage your relationship with us. Absolutely. Very good. So we have our target audience, right? Buyers or sellers. We're going to craft a specific message to appeal to one of them. And we're going to keep in, you want to make sure to be effective. We want to be within the market conditions. And you also want to make them an offer that's going to incite a response. Right? We want to know now, are you in the market for buying a home? Great. When can we sit down and talk about it and schedule those appointments? One thing I'd like to add with this too, sometimes it gets easy if you're making calls and you start talking to a prospect and you do get some kind of engagement. It's important not to deliver the full presentation while you're prospecting. Okay. Once you get those indicators or those signals that someone really wants to learn more and delve more, I always recommend filling that appointment time and then dedicating the full effort and energy to then converting them to be your client. You don't want to take that or skip that step. While you're prospecting, you want to make sure that you're keeping your calls relatively short, minute or two. That way you can get more calls in. In the event that someone does indicate a signal that they want to move forward or get more information, then always try to schedule that appointment time. So that way you give it the necessary effort to be able to convert. Does everyone understand how that works? Now, once your message is crafted, right, then go about the method of delivery of that message. And those 2 ways to do it, we already talked about that, the prospecting, which is what we're going to focus on today, and then marketing. But the critical thing is time block. So we're time blocking for prospecting. Make sure that we're taking that time to continually prospect. All right. So in that relationship, right, marketing is more money intensive. It's more of a passive method of lead generation where you're basically throwing money at a problem and hoping the phone will ring and solve that problem for you. The challenge with that too is the results aren't necessarily immediate, right? How long does it take to build a brand? Some would argue it could take weeks or months. So marketing results are not necessarily short term, they're more long term. Whereas prospecting may be more time intensive because you spend a few hours a day making those calls, but it's a proactive process. So you are in control and your results should be immediate. Right? One of the things I stress to my coaching clients is, time block out your appointment times and then prospect to fill those times. So if you have room for 2 buyer presentations throughout the week, you make calls until you fill those 2 buyer appointments. You're in control of that. You're in control of how much you prospect. If you do it, get it done in an hour, great. If it sometimes takes 2 or 3 hours, so be it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, right, to have a successful real estate practice and business, you need to have appointments, you need to have clients. And the only way to get them is A, either spend money marketing, or B, get on the phone or get on social media or whatever method you choose. We'll talk about those too. And prospect until those appointment times are filled. Right. Your lead generation methods should be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. Does anyone understand how that works? Right, marketing is indirect. It should attract leads and support, and then it enhance your prospecting conversations. So you send your direct mail advertisement or whatever it is, your marketing message, and then you leverage that material to have your follow-up conversation and schedule an appointment. Where prospecting is proactive and direct. It keeps you in a more active versus a reactive state. And really, it's what you're doing is you're searching for leads. You're spending time generating those leads. The prospecting allows you to focus on proactive customer creation activities that'll be critical in your ability to hit those numbers. And then when the market shifts, especially if you're in a period where your marketing efforts may not generate enough leads. I mean, right now, there's a lot of buyers in the marketplace. We can put out some posts and put out some marketing materials around listings to generate those buyer calls or buyer inquiries and then follow up with them. But when the market shifts, right, you put those marketing pieces out there with the listings, you might not get any leads, right? Because then the buyers become more scarce and you have to do more proactive things like prospecting for buyers. What do you guys think of that statement? Right? Lead generation should be more prospecting based and marketing enhanced.
That's what no one wants to hear.
What does it mean, right? To be prospecting based and marketing enhanced.
Not to rely solely on your marketing. You still have to call, still have to do the elbow grease work.
Right. You have to do the elbow grease work. But one enhances the other, right? Like you can make your calls and explain your value proposition to the people if you get them. But then also you want to follow up with your newsletter or whatever marketing pieces that you are sending to your database that will reinforce the prospecting that you're doing. And vice versa, right? If you don't know what to talk about to people that you're calling, you send them a newsletter. Hey, did you get my newsletter? What'd you think about my newsletter? Right? In the newsletter, it might say, hey, we're getting buyers in escrow on our second or third try. Do you know any buyers? Right? So the basis for generating the lead is the prospecting, but we still leverage the marketing in order to A, have something to talk about potentially, right? And B, reinforces our branding over time and keeps that top of mind awareness, especially when we're talking about referrals. Right? You call, ask for referral, or ask them to talk about business. You get that top of mind market share with your prospect or your database member for a couple of days. You follow up with that handwritten note, which would then be considered marketing, right? The handwritten note reinforces your conversation and it grants you a few more days of top of mind market share. It's interesting how that works. I have a client going through a refinance, and they want to do a reverse mortgage, right? So they need a lawyer to, they need an attorney to record a statement from husband and wife. Nevertheless, I couldn't for the life of me think of an attorney that would be appropriate. And then all of a sudden, I come across an old friend of mine who was perfect for that. But I knew he was an attorney, but he wasn't top of mind. So when the mortgage broker said, "Hey, do you know any attorneys?" I'm like, "No, I don't really know anyone that would be sufficient for that." But then I saw him on a Facebook post. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that guy, he'd be perfect for it." And did I know he was an attorney before? Of course, but he lost my top of mind awareness because I hadn't talked to him for a few weeks. So he lost that mind space, right? So it's important that we keep that mind space in our prospects. And we do that by making sure that they hear from us on a regular basis. All right, well, let's talk about some methods for prospecting. What can we do to leverage our databases and go out there and do what needs to be done to build our business? Now, Blake had a question here. Is it more prospecting based because of COVID, or was it marketing based pre-COVID? And to that question, I think that COVID is somewhat irrelevant in this discussion in a way. It's just the methods are going to be different, right? There's no open houses. So that's a different method. But as far as being prospecting versus marketing based, I think it's more reflective of the current markets, if you will, and your personal business. I mean, right now listings are kind of scarce. We can market for listings, but I understand that there's not a lot of people that are really directly looking to sell right now, even though the market's great. So you might not get the response you're looking for when you put an ad out there, and you really have no control, right? You just place your ad and you hope that people see it and hope that people call. Whereas with your prospecting based, you're dedicated to take the action to generate the leads that you need to generate for your business, whatever those might be. And we're all different. Our appetites are very different. Some of us need to make $1 million, some of us don't, right? So that's going to be based upon you and your business and what your goals are. And if you are starting out, like most of us are in this Ignite series, you don't have that $300,000 or $400,000 war chest to be able to market to get that $1 million business. But we do have 3 or 4 hours a day to generate leads and make calls. So when you're new, especially having your business based more on prospecting. Now, once your business gets going and you're steadily closing 3, 4, 5 transactions a month, then you can maybe scale back that prospecting. Well, you're going to have appointment times and you're going to leverage more marketing pieces. You may have to hire someone to coordinate the marketing for you. But then at that point, you're leading with revenue, right? You have the money from the transactions that you're closing. So prospecting versus marketing based is going to be also experience driven as well, right? So when you do have more resources for the marketing, like some of the top agents that we know of that are listing specialists, I know they spend a significant amount of money on marketing, sending out flyers and mailers every week, like clockwork. It's expensive. When you're starting out, it's unless you have them, if you're sitting on a couple of $1 million and you can afford to spend, $10,000 to $12,000 on marketing every month, then God bless you. You may have a more marketing-based business, but right now, for most of us starting out, prospecting-based. All right, prospecting methods: phone or face-to-face. Right, that's the simplest and easiest way. We're either knocking on the doors. Well, it's COVID now, so we can't really knock on the doors. But we can definitely pick up the phone and make calls. We could definitely go out to social media, make postings, and direct message people, right? There's in your participation guide on page 4, we'll have a variety of interesting insights into prospecting methods. Have any of you tried any of these methods yet? Right, phone or face-to-face, what do they say, listings without agency, right? For sale by owners and expired listings.
I
They're kind of
did
tough.
FISBOs and expired.
How'd that work out?
Not good.
And why do you say not good?
Well, FISBOs, they are very confident that they're going to sell because of the, seller's market. So, and they usually, the ones I called, they were very fresh. So they just like came out on the market like within a week. So they still were very confident and they just said, okay, just bring me a buyer. And expireds were irritated and they get a lot of calls. So they just, get really upset. And yeah, so it was not very successful for me. I didn't
Alright.
do a lot, so it's not very, representative because I didn't do a lot of them, but yeah, and circle prospecting, I did try also, not with a lot of success.
So when you say not with a lot of success, what does that mean? You didn't get any appointments?
No, not the appointment. I didn't get appointments, but the problem that majority of the numbers are on do not call list. And those that are not either incorrect or don't pick up. So very low pickup rate. And from those people who did pick up, half of them hang up. And yeah, so it was kind of not very encouraging.
Yeah, understand that method, those methods are all, and what you shared is reality. Okay, it's very true. When you're prospecting, circle prospecting, you're calling people that don't expect your call. So the likelihood of them of having a success with every call is very, very low. But understand that people are going to hang up, and you can't let it affect you because it's a numbers game, and every no is one more step closer to a yes. And that's the mentality that you have to have. So the people that are rude to you, the people that hang up, you just got to say, forget them. As fast as they forgot you, you have to forget them and get on that next call and continue pushing, because eventually you'll find someone that's nice to you. It's inevitable. Just, not everyone's an asshole in this world.
Yeah,
you're going to find people that are nice to you and you're going to have good conversations, but understand that you're going to have the negative consequences as well. People will slam the phone down and maybe say some choice words. Sheila, you have your hand up.
There are ways of getting to the FISBOs and the expired by sending out a booklet. And that, oh God, I have to take this call. I can't.
All right.
What booklet?
Thanks, Sheila.
I would love to know.
But then again, right, we're enhancing the prospecting with marketing by sending out a booklet or inviting them to visit your website where you have a page about the challenges of for sale by owners, right? I love it, Nick. Nick says no stands for next opportunity. Very good.
My biggest challenge was the DNC list. I'm not the rejections and the no pickup, it's fine. But the problem is there's so very little numbers that I could call. Because 90% of them on do not call list. And I get very conflicting messages. Some people telling me, well, if you're calling, it depends what message you're delivering, it will not be a sales call. So you can technically call them if you don't sell them anything. If you are calling your neighborhood and saying, hi, we had in circle prospecting, we had listing which houses sold on blah, blah, blah. Or I have a lot of buyers and then anyone who's looking to sell. So I needed to understand what is exactly considered a sales call and what is not a sales call. And can I call the do not call or can I not call the do not call? So where's
there is somewhat of a gray area, but anytime you're really calling and asking someone for money, it's a sales call, right? Sell your house, you're getting money. It's a sales call. If you are fundraising for a charity, it's still a sales call because you're asking for a donation or you're asking for money. If you're bringing awareness to an area, I think it could be different, or maybe inviting them to an open house. That could be different, right?
Okay.
We just listed a property in your neighborhood. Maybe you know someone that wants to buy it. I'd like for you to invite you to view our virtual presentation. If you have a moment, with your permission, I can send you the link. Do you have an email address? I'd be happy to share with you information about the local real estate market.
Okay.
That could be more of a gray area call.
If I'm introducing myself and just saying, you know, I'm your neighbor and I'm an agent in the area, do you have a go-to realtor that you will work when you need someone? Is that a sales call? No, I'm not selling
That's
anything.
that's less of a sales call.
Okay.
You know,
So-
I would say, I'm providing a free newsletter or a free service to homeowners.
Okay.
I'd like to invite you to participate.
Yeah.
Love
you
to
can-
hear your thoughts
I have
about this
thousands of numbers
house.
sitting, and I'm not using them because they all do not call. So
Yeah, and again, people that are on the do not call list aren't expecting sales calls. They might not be happy to hear from you. You might get a lot of rejection, if you will, but at the end of the day, you know that's the game.
mhm.
And you're just looking for the one that is going to say yes. So you have to have that tough skin and move forward. For sale by owners and expired listings in our market today is a challenge because there's just not enough of them, in my opinion. Maybe ultra luxury, there's a few more, 5 million and above expired listings, but there's no $1 million expired listings. Everything should sell. If it doesn't sell, there's probably a bigger problem. And same with FSBOs. Now, keep in mind that when you're prospecting for FSBOs, the biggest thing you want to do is build rapport, and you're not going to do that over the phone in a phone call. So when you're calling a FSBO, the number one thing is get an appointment to get into their house. That's it. Once you're at their house, you can build rapport and convert them, but you're not going to convert them to a listing over the phone. Almost impossible. So what's the dialogue go like? Yeah, I have a buyer. I need to preview the house to make sure it's appropriate. Can I come by at 3 o'clock today? That's it. And yeah, you go there at 3 o'clock and then you convert. You build rapport and convert. Circle prospecting, the neighborhoods, apartment complexes, recently sold listings, recently listed properties. One of the ways you might be able to get around the do not call list, it's like, hey, I'm just letting you know that the house that was just listed around the corner just sold, and it's going to sell for $1.5 million. And just, doing my bit to spread the good news around the neighborhood. If you think of anyone that wants to sell, the numbers appeal to you, please let me know. We can beat those results. Something like that. Obviously, apartment complexes to see if you can't get people that want to buy a house. And again, around recently sold, recently listed properties are a good subject matter, if you will, for those kind of conversations. If you're always coming from a
Welcome back, Mark.
hopefully we didn't I wasn't talking for too long. You guys missed it. So I was just going through circle prospecting. Are we good on circle prospecting? Yeah, I don't hear anything, so I'm gonna say we're good. So community outreach, right? If you guys have kids, get involved in their sports, get involved in their after-school activities, and not just silently. right? You want to get to know all of the other parents in the group, if you will. And you can do that. A, show up to practice and make small talk around, or B, coach the teams. That's what I do. Key relationships, corporations, builders, banks, third-party data companies, and investors. How can we reach out to those folks and create win-wins? I don't know about corporations, but I would say look for other businesses that could be a great referral source for you and that you are a great referral source for.
You're not sharing screen, by the way.
I'm not sharing my screen.
No.
Thank you for letting me know. Now I will share my screen. Back to our presentation. There we go.
Small businesses, I found I just walked in like businesses around my house and introduced myself and asked if I can leave my cards on their counters. So yeah, and I try to go and like shop and, you know, actually be their client as well. So remind of myself. They already know my name in some places when I walk in, like little grocery stores. So
Very
that's
good.
good.
You
Dry
gotta build your
cleaning.
data.
Yeah.
Yep. Very good. Build your following. Right. Banks and lenders. Right, we're going to have leads for banks and lenders. Is it okay to ask them for referrals? Absolutely it is. Right. Is there any shortage of lenders in our lives? No. All right, Mr. Lender, I can tell that you have a great business and you'll do great for my clients, but to get to the top of my list, I need a referral. Referrals should go both ways. And condition them too. It's like, you know I'll have more opportunities than you will, but if I give you 3 or 4 referrals and I don't get one back, you might not get a 5th. So set that expectation with those guys. And they know, okay, Mark gave me 3 or 4. I better give one back to Mark. Otherwise, I'm not going to get a number 5. But that works, so you got to set it up. Right, teaching and speaking, meals. I'd say for your A+ contacts, your raving fans, if you will, right, take them to dinner. Pay for it. Create that good stroke differential. They'll give you more referrals. Door-to-door canvassing when it gets back, when we can, is definitely an effective prospecting method. I know many agents that have built very strong businesses based on door-to-door canvassing. Networking events.
Like dropping flyers. Sorry, what's the door-to-door canvassing?
Yeah, dropping flyers, knocking on doors.
Okay. I saw
In a
people
neighborhood.
still do it. I saw in my neighborhood people do it.
They do. They're not supposed to, but people are doing it. You know, one of the biggest, or one of the most effective back in the day when we had open houses, was the door-to-door around your open house. Invite the people to come to the open house. The open house is a great icebreaker. A listing in the neighborhood is a great icebreaker. It's like, hey, I'm Mark with Keller Williams Realty. Just wanted to let you know the house around the corner just went pending. I talked to the listing agent. They're going to get $1.5 million. I know they're listed at $1.3 million. They're getting $1.5 million. Do you know anyone else looking for it to sell? We can get them $1.6 million. Right, networking events. One of the biggest networking events that we go through is family reunion. This year kind of was challenging because we weren't there. We did it virtually. It doesn't quite work the same. But family reunion is a great networking event. You're going to be around 50,000 agents from all around the country. Create relationships and get referrals. Right, booths and kiosks and walk-ins. We don't get very many walk-ins. I think in my 19 years of being in business, I think I had one person just walk into an office. looking for information about real estate.
People
They were
call.
relocating to Los Gatos from Philadelphia. Then I explained to them what it takes. Like, oh, we're going to sell our house in Philadelphia for 400 grand. Like, great, you'll have a down payment for Los Gatos. They were shocked. They didn't take the Apple job, unfortunately. But that is what that is. Anyone have any questions, concerns about the various methods for prospecting?
Well, it feels like half of it is irrelevant right now because of COVID. That
It's true.
reduced.
It's true, but
all-
COVID isn't. I think maybe another 6 months to a year, things should be back to normal. I wouldn't be surprised if we were back to open houses before this year ends.
Many
Go ahead, Anna.
states
Yeah.
never stopped open houses. I don't understand, like, what's the danger in open house if we can limit the amount of people at the time, like have one family at a time.
And you'll have a line of people out the door.
Yes, I mean, so.
Depends. No, I agree with you. I mean, we can't say that, our state had the most effective shutting down everything, had the greatest result on public health, because they're saying that other states that didn't shut down or barely shut down, they have the same rates of infections and deaths. Right?
Exactly,
They're really
exactly.
all of these precautions that we're taking that may help, but maybe not necessarily.
Yeah.
Morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
So, we got a conversation. All right. So let's talk a little bit about, take a little deeper dive into these prospecting methods and see what we can come up with as far as helping our business being more prospecting based and marketing enhanced. It's like door knocking and open houses are out right now. We can't really door knock. We can't do open houses. But what can we do? We can do agent-to-agent referrals. We can reach out to our fellow Keller Williams agents and build our referral networks. What else can we do? Social media. Right, we can leverage social media to help us move forward. Have you guys tried any of these yet? Agent-to-agent referrals. Any success? Care to share?
I sent 2 referrals to North Carolina and received 2 referral checks. My very first client was an investor that I picked up door knocking. I had done a few open houses, but I don't think my skills were as sharp as I would have liked them to be at that point, with, using scripts with the prospective buyers, and also trying to identify which ones weren't already working with an agent. And I try to use social media weekly.
All right, very good. Thank you for sharing.
I usually get
Anyone
about
else?
4 or 5 a year putting out. Get 4 or 5 checks in anyhow.
All right. That's on agent-to-agent referrals?
Yeah, I got one out to Nevada right now. I pick up different stuff across the country, but it works out good. In my old market center, I got an award for the most referrals in a year. It works out good. They're nice little checks. They come in when they're not expected. Usually when I'm really broke and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make my bills this month? And then some referral check from Timbuktu shows up.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, don't underestimate the powers of those referrals, guys.
I'd also like to add that the referral network in Command, I did both of my referrals through the referral network in Command, and it was very easy, and it was I was able to kind of track along with them what was happening.
Very good. I'm leveraging Command as well for that. Actually, it's very convenient. We might even demonstrate that a little bit later. Very convenient to be able to find who's doing business where. Keller Williams is an open book company. Everyone knows how much what everyone else is selling, because that's just profit share. That's just the part of profit share is being open about how much money each market center is generating. So it's very easy to see what agents are active and where, and then we can understand who we can reach out to best service our clients. So let's dig a little deeper into these methods here. Door knocking, right? Approach, act, and ask. Let's see, I think we have some materials in your participant guides. If you refer to page 7 in your participant guides, you'll have some understanding there as to the model for door knocking. Now, we can call this door knocking, we can call this cold calling, prospecting. It's pretty much the same thing. Although we can't go knocking on doors, we can still pick up the phone and call, right? And it's a very similar dialogue. Number one is you should have a very strong marketing message, right? What is your value proposition? Why should somebody work with you to be their real estate agent? You have to answer that question, and then develop a quick elevator pitch to be able to help people come through and identify themselves as someone that's looking to be added to your database or someone with an immediate need for your services now, right? And there's always going to be, it's a two-sided thing. Do you need my business now, or is it okay if we connect and I stay in touch so we can do business later? So you want to have the tools in place to be able to facilitate that. So if you're doing a neighborhood newsletter, you can invite people to sign up for your neighborhood newsletter. If they don't have an immediate need now, you can do that digitally, or you can mail it out, however you feel to do it. It's not face-to-face, if you will. Door knocking is more face-to-face. So, if you're building a farm, if you will, and you're focusing on a specific geographic neighborhood that you're going to be working with over your career, then it does make sense to go and knock on the doors and get to know the people in that neighborhood. But where you can, of course. Right? If you're out there making FaceTime people, remember who you are. And then your marketing materials that you mail out will be more enhanced. It's like, oh, the flyer that they see, oh yeah, that guy, he was here last week, we talked to him. Oh yeah, my cousin wants to sell, we should give him a call. That's the goal. So has anyone done any door knocking?
Hi, Mark.
Tina.
Yes, I rely heavily on door knocking. Well, the first year before the COVID, because I found it so difficult to do the cold calling. So I dedicated about 2 hours to knocking my phone, and I did get like 2 to 3 cross leads and the listing leads, and I still keep in touch with them, working close with them, because leads does take more time for listing. And that's very effective. And also I do referral that helps for listing leads as well. I refer people, investor in particular. I got an investor group and they give me the referral check, tiny. But the most important thing is like you have a strong bond with your investors, and they will come back to you if they have activities needing the local. So that's 2 major things I'm doing, and I love door knocking.
Good. Nice. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else do any door knocking? Any limiting beliefs around door knocking that we may carry?
Yes. Heck no. I never do it. Never will. Can't stand it. How's that for a limiting belief?
Well, if you don't like it, that's a limiting belief for sure.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm scared to death of it.
Why are you scared?
I don't know. I ain't knocking on nobody's doors. Where I come from, you get shot for doing that stuff.
Nice.
You know, I mean, it's just, why are you gonna knock on
Will
somebody?
somebody, well, that's a limiting belief. You're going to get shot. Will somebody really shoot you for knocking on their door?
Well, but you're showing up on people's ranches out in the country. They got dogs that bite you. They got lonely housewives. You don't know what kind of trouble you're gonna get into.
Gotcha. Well, how would you overcome that limiting belief?
I have no idea. I've never door knocked one house in my whole life. 20 plus years in real estate.
Well, there
Well,
you
we're
go.
in California, first of all, in a very urban area. Nobody's gonna shoot you. There's no ranches.
Yeah,
True.
there's ranches out where I
Well,
live. Yeah,
we
well,
work in
you know, I'm not door knocking Oakland or something, you know.
Come knock Los Gatos. Nobody will shoot you.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you do when you knock on a door and they answer? I mean,
Yeah, you say, hi, I'm Anna. I'm your neighbor here in real estate and just wanted to check on you. How are you doing this year? It's been crazy. Is everybody okay? Everybody healthy? Okay, well, happy St. Patrick's Day. Here's some chocolates for you kids.
you
Something
got more
like
than I got, and I'm 6 foot tall, 300 pounds.
See?
Well, I'll bring you apples.
See? Yeah, I mean, there's an excuse, obviously, if you need one, but there's always ways to overcome them as well. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about making your career, right? So if that's something that you can't, anyone could just walk and knock on doors. Doesn't require well, it requires COVID to be over, but it doesn't require a large financial investment, right? Print up some flyers, print them up in the office. They don't have to be super fancy.
You want thing beliefs, you got it, man.
Yep. So the ultimate thing is you want to have a decent message or a message. Obviously, the message of your business that we were talking about earlier, right? Hey, I can sell your home in 72 hours if you know anyone that wants to sell their house. I can sell it for whatever. I can help you win the multiple offer situation, whatever your marketing message is. But around door knocking too, you want to be supplier of information that could be useful, and you want to come from contribution. So that will help you overcome maybe some of those limiting beliefs of people not wanting you on their doorstep. One of the methods that you could use to help yourself is, I'd go get a bunch of $10 Starbucks cards, and I give those Starbucks cards to people that I have a good conversation with. So that's one of the things that you're out there. Why are you out there? Well, seeing if people like coffee. I'm a real estate broker, and I love to drink coffee and talk about the real estate market. Do you have any concerns? Do you have any household improvements that you're thinking about making? How can I help? Basically, how can I help you with solving your problems today while I'm here? Right. You want to make sure that you know your script and what you want to say, and you have your materials with you. And then listen. Listen for what those key signals are. It's like, our kitchen is a little old. We're thinking of remodeling. Okay, great. Were you thinking of a new kitchen, or maybe you need a bigger kitchen? Maybe you need a bigger house. You ever explore that? Things of that nature. And then always ask for the business, right? There's three outcomes in any conversation that you have, right? You're going to get business, ask for their direct business. Do you have a direct need, Mr. Buyer or Seller? You're going to ask for referrals. If they don't have a direct need, do you know anyone that wants to buy or sell? And then last but not least, if it's a no, or even if it's a yes, you always want to make sure that you have permission to store. You want to strengthen your relationship and ask their permission to keep in touch with them. Can I put you on my email list so you can feel secure about the value of your home? Great, let me get your email address. Put them in try to get them into your database. Right? And if it's a triple no, then it's a triple no. You move on to the next one. But the most important thing is, right, we're building our rapport with our community, and then if you're adding people to your database, because not everyone is going to have a direct need today, but almost everyone is going to have a need for your service at some time. So you want to add them to your database, and by adding them to your database, then you can let the smart plans kick in and keep in touch with them over time via email and newsletters. You guys understand how that works? All right. Let's talk about agent-to-agent referrals. I know we've had a few of our agents here that have had some good success with agent-to-agent referrals. Anyone want to elaborate on this? By the way, page 8 in your participant guide will have some insight onto agent-to-agent referrals.
Hi, Mark. So
Tina.
agent-to-agent referral is the first check I received as a new agent. And it actually helps me just building not just a network, but building my database and client base here too. Because when you can help someone locally to reach to something far, they have no idea, you build the trust and you build rapport. So for me, agent-to-agent rapport is more than building agent network. Besides, it's another way of serving your client. And when you help people, they'll come back to you. That's my feeling, and that's what's happening.
Very good. Very good. What are some marketing messages or value propositions we can offer when we're prospecting other agents? What do you guys think?
The one I use is because I have a couple markets I focus, my personally interested. I just tell the agent they are saying, I have a very close-knit investor groups and they buy impact. And I told them what happened with our buyers. They say within 3 months, we can buy 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. It happens so fast. And I will help them and make sure they stay with you. And I will answer questions if they cannot reach you within my power. So we'll work as a team. And so all those records and message, so agents love to work with me in that way because they get transactions so smoothly, almost like free money to them.
There you go.
I would say that my follow-up is very good. I never, lose clients because of lack of follow-up. And I will also keep you informed every step of the way of the process with your referral. Because I was on a team and we had a referral coming to the team leader and he handed it to me, but then I left the team and he dropped the referral. And the agent who referred called me and said, what's going on? But I was out of I was not on the team anymore, so I couldn't follow up. But I felt really bad because they lost the referral because of lack of follow-up. So that was really bad. And this agent will never refer anyone anymore to that person, for sure.
Very good point. Very good point.
So following up.
Was there a chance for you to save that for yourself?
Not according to our agreement, I couldn't. Okay. And it was 1.8 million buyer. Yeah.
It's a rough business. Who wants a $1.8 million buyer? Anna might have had a referral, but she let it slip. She referred it to somebody else.
Yeah.
That referral from them, this, we want to stay ethical, if you will.
Yeah.
But this is a dog-eat-dog world.
I stated
if they're dropping the ball on the referral, there's nothing that precludes you from passing it on and helping another person, right?
Yep. Right. Well, then I would have had to pay 2 referral fees.
Maybe only 1.
Well, anyway, that's not relevant, but I'm saying that,
So how can we grow our referral network?
Be present in different groups on Facebook, just networking with other agents.
Yep.
I just talk.
Obviously. Talk to people.
Yeah, everybody.
Other agents.
3-foot rule. Anybody that gets within 3 foot of me, I talk to them. I picked up 3 cards today, just between going to breakfast, getting my tires worked on. I met a guy that's got RVs that he rents out for temporary housing, or if you want to take a trip, I just put them in my database, send them a card, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I just talk to everybody because I like everybody.
There you go. There you go. How about your agent to agent network? You know, guys, don't underestimate the range that some agents would go for their business. And I know agents that just specialize in maybe 3 or 4 streets. And if you're not buyer or seller on those 3 or 4 streets, they're not interested. They'd rather refer that person out. So just because you're willing to travel to San Francisco, to Modesto, and to Monterey to service clients doesn't mean that every agent that you come in contact, even with here locally, will, right? If I have clients that want to go to Oakland, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to refer them to Bruce because Bruce is the Oakland specialist. He's the Oakland agent, right? So be mindful of that as well. So when we're out talking to other agents, especially if you're working with buyers and you're working with listing agents in specific areas, you may want to let them know that, hey, Mr. Listing Agent, you know, if you come across buyers that maybe want to buy in this area, I'm here to help service them, and I'll gladly pay you a referral fee. Right? We're in control of the referral fee and how much we're willing to offer. You know, if everyone in their business is offering them 25%, offer them 30%. You know, whatever you got to do to earn their trust and earn their referral business down the road. Now, you want to keep that in check to a degree. You want to give all the money away for doing all the hard work. You want to feel good about it at the end of the day, right? So, but again, you're going to set your price there. You're in control. All right. How do you stay top of mind with your referral network? What do you guys think? Should we have other agents in our database?
Sure.
Absolutely, we should. Absolutely, we should. Dude, what's the one thing? I mean, one thing I know about this business is it's temporary. The guys with 19, 20 years of experience are far and few between because it's a hard business. It is. At the end, it's simple, but it's not easy. So those of us who are actively in business may not be actively in business forever. So it's important that we keep the people in our database. Right? What if someone's an agent today and tomorrow they're going to go back into high tech? What's going to happen when they go back into high tech? They're going to meet more people. They're going to need to buy and sell houses, and they're not going to be able to service them because they're busy working high tech. I have a few of these people, right? They came through our mentoring systems, and they were great agents for about 4 or 5 years and decided that they didn't want to continue that path, went back to their previous line of work, which is okay. But they're in my database, and I'll pay them, gladly pay them a referral fee. Their license is still active. And yeah, we get deals that way. Absolutely. So, you know, don't underestimate the agents in your market center. Build rapport, keep them in your database. Anyone else? Any other thoughts or concerns before we move on? From agent to agent referrals. All right.
Hey, Mark.
Alex.
I have a question. So if I refer another agent to another agent, there is no referral fee, right? In this situation.
One more time. One more time.
If I'm referring, like, so an agent in Portland, for example, I refer somebody from our market center to them in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like, am I supposedly expecting a referral fee or just like, thank you?
You know, it depends on you and how you set that up and how you negotiate that.
Oh, okay.
Also, something from my experience, keep in mind, I referred someone, not Keller Williams agent, but someone in Texas. And I did not make it clear because I knew this person before I was licensed. And then I got licensed and I referred someone to them. They did not realize that there will be a referral fee. And when I brought it up, they said, oh, if I knew you wanted a referral fee, I wouldn't take that buyer because I have so many buyers already. I don't need another buyer. I have buyers that, you know, I don't need to pay referral fee on. So keep in mind, if you're in the market where, you know, not price range like ours. If it's like a $300 price range and they already have 20 buyers that they're working with, they might not want to take another buyer that they need to pay referral fee on.
It's a very good point you bring up, Anna. Guys, you have to sign the referral fee agreements. This is paramount. Never assume that you're going to get $1 from anybody. Okay. So we're agent to agent referrals. It's common to pay the referral fees. If you didn't get the referral up front, they played you a little bit because they'll pay it. They'll gladly pay it. They just didn't want to pay you because they already did the deed. That just is what that is. But we have to be proactive and understand that we expect to get paid, which means, Mr. Agent, I'm interviewing, before I give you the contact information of my referral buyer, we're going to have to sign a referral agreement. Okay.
Where do I find that?
Agreement.
Car?
So there's car forms for that you can use if you're working with agents outside of Keller Williams Realty. If you're working within Keller Williams Realty and referring to another KW agent, we do that through Command, and Command takes care of that for us.
Okay, and the car form is California form, but if I refer to another state, do those still apply?
Yeah, that still applies. It's a contract. The contract says that Mr. I'm the agent. This is my client for purchasing or for selling any property within a specific time period. The agent agrees to pay me whatever, 20%, 30%, 25%, 35%, whatever you negotiate. And typically I call on the phone and quiz them and negotiate that referral fee. You negotiate that verbally, and then you follow that up with the form that you send them. Once it comes back signed, then you give them the contact information for the client. Right? And then that person has that contractual obligation to you. Yeah. Whenever you circumvent that system and then try to ask for the money later on, it's an uphill battle. They don't have to pay you.
Yeah, okay. Well, I learned the hard way.
Yeah. You're not the only one. It's okay. It happens. And it will be, you'll have more opportunities. Just don't let that happen the same way again. Do you guys know how to use the networking feature of Command?
No.
All right. Let's play with that a little bit. Let's stop the share. Start a new share. Log in. To our Command. Click on over to the connect. See, you guys don't have this third Command MC. That's what I get for being a broker, so I can go through your lovely files. But in the connect section, this is where we can connect with other agents. Oh, look at that. A lot of different members and areas that we can connect with. And then through Command, where's our network button? Command referrals. Under referrals, that's where you get your referral network. We've sent referrals to a few people. Some people sent referrals back, but anyway, that's the people in the referral network. If you guys have a referral that you want to send out, let's say, oh, I have somebody that wants to buy a house in Las Vegas. You just click the map. We can search Las Vegas. And it's cool. The numbers are there is our production of different agents in the Las Vegas area. So if you want to see where the market centers are, you can click the market centers button. It'll tell you where the market centers, the KW market centers are. You can always reach through a team leader to get a referral as well as to who you refer to. You can look to see if there's anyone in your network already that's in the referral area for Las Vegas. But if you don't know anyone, you can check their production. So if we're looking in like Northwest Vegas here, we can see there's 600 agents, and we can see here on the right side who's doing business. Now this is sorted by random. You can go by first name, last name, or you can go by units, right? Who does the most business? If it's maybe a listing referral, all right, I want to see who's done the most sold listings in this area. So Rick, Robin, and Dale are the top 3 listing agents in this neighborhood, in this area on this page. And you can add them to your referral network by clicking here, or if you want to start a referral negotiation, you would click here. That way you let them know what type of referral you're going to give them, a buyer, seller, or tenant. The referral fee you'd like to negotiate or start with, how much time you want to give them to accept the deadline, and then some information, basic information about the process. And then you can select your contact if they're already in your database, or create a new contact if it's someone that was just referred to you. Now, the system won't send them the contact information unless they accept a referral. The process that's worked well for me is, I look them up here, I send the referral, and then I give them a call and see what we can negotiate. If your clients are looking for negotiators, right, say, hey, will you pay me a 40% referral? They immediately say yes. Okay, I'll let you know. Maybe go for a different agent that's a little more conscious about the referral fee, and see if they negotiate with you. It's one of the tests I give. Right? People say they're strong negotiators. Well, let's negotiate the referral fee. If they fall over real quick, then what are they going to do when it's your client's money on the line? Right? It's the same putback we can give. You guys see how this works? It's pretty easy to get agent-to-agent referrals.
Yeah. Do you do any research beyond the production and the number? Do you look them up, like the reviews, or if it's a team, if it's...
You can, I guess, look them up on Zillow for their reviews, or look on Google for their reviews too. Sure. Absolutely.
Do you call them and like talk to them in person?
Yes.
No?
Yes, I'll call and talk to them. Absolutely. Number one, I'd like to get them in my referral network too. And this is also a great way to prospect for agent-to-agent referrals, right? Where are people moving to our area from? Usually, are they moving from our area out? But if people are moving in, where are they moving in from? Try to get a grasp on that. A lot of times people just move within the state, maybe from Sacramento or Los Angeles. Now I go to the area, see who's doing the most business, because they're going to have the most opportunities down the road, and then call and build rapport. Now we're prospecting for agent-to-agent referrals. Yeah, I'd love to be your resource in Silicon Valley. I help sellers sell their home within 72 hours for 10% over market. If you know anyone that wants to sell their home, I'd love to get to know them and pay you a handsome referral fee. Offer 25%. Offer 30%, whatever you want to offer. You have any buyers relocating to our area? Our buyer market's ridiculous right now. I've had success getting buyers in their second or third try. Do you have any buyers looking to relocate? Right. What's the buyer referral fee? 15%. Buyers are a pain in the ass right now. But again, right, you're in control. Whatever you want to offer, 25% seems to be kind of the fair and reasonable referral back and forth amount. When I'm negotiating, I'll ask for 30 or 35%, but I know that if they're a strong agent and they're the right agent probably for my clients, we'll settle at 25%, and I'm cool with that. Any questions on this, guys? So we can prospect through command for agent-to-agent referrals. You could broadcast a referral too. There was a button to broadcast the referral. That'll send it to everyone, see who comes back. I'm 50-50 on that. I like to be in a little bit more control as to who my clients go to.
Can you reach out and start building rapport with agents even if you don't have a referral right now? Just kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
look for agents where you think people will be coming in. Invite them to join your referral network. You can do it passively just by inviting them to your network and then writing a little blurb about it. Or if you're active prospecting, pick up the phone and call them.
Okay.
So I see you guys do a lot of business in this area. You know, I'm building my career in Silicon Valley. If you have anyone that's coming through, you know, I'll gladly pay you a 30%, and a normal's 25, but for you, because you're such a good producing agent, if you have people coming, you know, I'll gladly pay you 30. Who do you know if you know anyone that's moving in? Right? If you've exhausted your sphere of influence database and you don't want to cold call the circle prospect, you call other real estate agents. They're usually fun to talk to. Most of us anyway. All right, on to the next method. Open houses. Again, COVID's not going to hurt us forever. We will have open houses again. This I guarantee. Right now, not so much, but what else can we do that kind of works like open houses that we can work with today? Anyone have any ideas?
Virtual open house.
Virtual open house, absolutely. All right, we can do virtual open houses. You can advertise them right on the MLS under the open house tags. Absolutely. Anything else? I think that's pretty much it, right? If we don't have an open house, we can do a virtual open house. You can do a virtual open house. You could pre-record it and then send it out on social media. You can do it live as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, pre-record it. You could videotape it. You could FaceTime it. You could walk through it for your clients with them on FaceTime. Yep. No, you want to see the closet better? Sure, let me show you. You want to see the view?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we can market that. If you're borrowing it, if you're borrowing a listing from a listing agent, you know, ask the listing agent to place the ad in the open house. On the MLS, when we're advertising open houses right now, we can't advertise virtual open houses. So don't forget about that. If you're borrowing a listing from someone and you want to sit there for 30 minutes, maybe or an hour, and see if someone comes through, a virtual open house, make sure that the listing agent posts that there's going to be a virtual open house, and then you also need to be proactive and market that virtual open house through your marketing channels. But I mean, open houses in general or virtual open houses are a pretty good lead generation opportunity. Why do you think they are?
It attracts potential buyers.
All right, listings, active, ready to sell, we're ready to buy listings. Of course, they'll attract potential buyers. That's what we're looking for. How about cost? Is it cost effective from a marketing standpoint?
Yes, it is.
It doesn't cost very much to put together. More time than anything. Right. So when we're doing an open house, there's phases, right? You have an opportunity to market the open house before the event, right? You have an opportunity to market your business during the event, and then you have an opportunity again to market after the event. Right? Before the event, you're reaching out, letting people know there will be an event. And then during the event, you have your opportunity to capture that business. And then after, hey, did you catch my virtual open house? I just did a virtual open house for a mansion and blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, I missed it. Well, you want to be sure to catch the next one. Are you thinking about buying or selling a home?
I would love to hear some feedback from someone who did it, because a couple agents that I talked to, they did not have great success with that. Anyone who had success and people like engaging actively during life or following up, were able to capture leads from it.
Great point. Anyone care to share? No one's doing them, huh? Well, I'll just shut it down on the open house side. Sorry, Anna. I wish we had more positive results at this point.
Sorry, what was the question?
Alice,
The question, if someone,
anyone have any?
if someone who actually did a virtual open houses, and what was the outcome? What was the feedback from audience? How did it go?
I see. I haven't done one. It's anything that you do should give you something. If not, keep doing it, because anything that you put your name out there and you give your name a contact to somebody and you follow up. If you got their email address, then you follow up, right?
If you got their email address, I mean, like, I want to know like the numbers actually, if you did the open house, like a live video from house, how much engagement it brought, and if you had any leads. Because from people that did it, I hear that it wasn't that successful, and that's why most agents stopped doing it. Because in the beginning, in like last year, April, May, a lot of agents were doing virtual open houses. It was very popular. But then if you look now, almost no one doing it anymore, because it did not prove itself to be successful or effective. So that's what I was asking. I want just to know.
What does that tell you about our consumers?
Probably consumers tired of being online. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we have these virtual tours and we have so much material out there already. I mean, are they really going to carve out an hour on a Saturday just to participate in your open house? What do you think?
Probably not. And honestly, I think that for people who actually looking to buy, a virtual open house is not sufficient anyway. So people still need to come and see house in person regardless. So it doesn't really substitute an actual open house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, if you have a virtual through Instagram, it depends whether you put marketing into it too, right? If only 5 people looking at it and they are all agents, then yes, you don't get any leads. But you're able to put that link into Facebook or put an ads on it, 10 buyers looking at it and they go into Instagram, then you get leads. Mm-hmm. It's not about one way works or not. It's that you have to think through everything that you do, right? Some people will not get success because their ways probably are not think through. But if you want to do it, you want to try it yourself, make sure that you think it through so that your money goes into something that works for you. Same thing, I think, to me, same thing as cold calling. People say it doesn't work. But then people who are actually working at it all the time, making the scripts better, they'll get something out of it. It's just a numbers game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're very good point, Alice. Very good point. And I think you're absolutely right on that. I would say that if you wanted to do, market the listing via virtual open house or virtual tour, if you did a Facebook Live or if you did an Instagram Live going through the house and then followed up with folks, it could be good. Would you expect them to come, between 1 and 2 on a Saturday? I would say probably not. And that's the feedback that we're getting, right, from the market from the initial year. But does that mean that people aren't looking at listings on Facebook and Instagram? I think they are. I think it's just evolved to people want to do things on their time. And you could do it live when you do it live and then, record it and repost it. Record it, repost it, and then, relentlessly follow up. Relentlessly follow up.
There is one agent in San Francisco, and he is recording his tour and post it in Instagram. And then sometimes I get to see what the home looks like. So he needs to keep doing it though. And then the buyers will, oh, okay, every time I want to see a house tour in San Francisco, I go to this agent. It's probably a long term.
Yeah, I do a lot of video tours, and when I go show homes, I usually come earlier and do a quick walkthrough and record it. And I see that people love watching. It's a good engagement in general, but I wouldn't say that I got leads from it, just views. I get views, but it's not really, serious.
How are you following up on those views?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Because
then there's your answer.
But they just use it, and it's usually like my friends or family. So I never try to boost it and make it an advertisement to reach more people.
Yeah. Don't underestimate your friends and your family. That I keep telling people, that's where your deals are going to come from initially, for sure.
Yep.
Right.
Agree.
If you're doing those recordings and your friends and family are watching those recordings, then it's up to you to follow up with them. Call them. Hey, did you see that video? What'd you think of that house? Oh, really? Are you thinking about buying a home? You have to have that top of mind awareness. You only get that when you engage with people. Obviously, having the videos will help with that, but then you want to follow that up. So it's follow up. You got to follow up. Everyone that views that video, if you don't want to call them, at least direct message them. And you don't even have to direct message them about the video. Just direct message them and say, hi. Yeah, I saw you saw my video. We haven't talked in a while. You have 5 minutes to catch up. I'd love to talk to you. Yeah, sure, I have 5 minutes. And then call them. How's the family? How's work? And they're going to say, Anna, how's it like being in the real estate business? That's when you're going to ask for the referral.
Anna,
the more you do it, the easier it'll become. Alice, please.
When you see the views, can you see people who are actually like the Facebook accounts?
Let me see. Actually, I didn't check. Like who's viewing?
Yes.
I think you can see.
Okay, then you want to find out who they are, or like how do you follow up, because you know who they are, right? Who are viewing.
I'm gonna actually
Yeah, the follow-up is everything.
Yep.
Follow-up is everything. It's the difference between maybe selling 1 house to your database a year and selling 10 houses to your database a year. Right? Just putting it out there and just relying on their views and then them to follow up with you, that you may get something if you're consistent with it. But if you're following up on their views and then approaching a more proactive to get the next layer of business, and again, you can talk about the reason why you called was because they viewed your thing, or you cannot. But at the end of the day, the most critical thing is that you touch base with them and you have some type of conversation with them. With regards to open houses, being prospecting based and marketing enhanced. Now, one way to get people to leave their contact information is to have a drawing or a raffle. Now, can you have a drawing or a raffle with the Facebook virtual open house? I think you can. Or if you're offering up $100 Nordstrom gift card, we'll raffle off a $100 Nordstrom gift card for all people that come to my virtual open house. Virtual open house will be for 15 minutes. We'll go through the house, we'll talk about it, and at the end of the 15-minute presentation, from based on who's there, we're going to offer up a $100 Nordstrom gift card to get people to stay to the end and listen to your message.
It reminds me of a timeshare presentation.
Yeah, sure. Can be. Those guys make a lot of money. Obviously, they're a pain in the ass sometimes. We don't necessarily like going to the presentations when we're on vacation, but they do them because they work. Right? They do them. If it didn't work, they wouldn't do them. They wouldn't give you a free trip if they didn't think that they could sell you a bunch of stuff while you're there. All right. So again, right, we want to be prepared. You can always host a speaker too, if you have something special that you want to talk about. Maybe home improvement wise, if you want your termite guy to come in there, talk about different pitfalls that people can have. Offer a gift that'll get people to come or stay through the presentation. Back in the old traditional open house days, you get a lot of phony phone numbers and phony email addresses. Well, if you want real phone numbers and real email addresses, give them a gift, a raffle. I had great success. There was a travel company. They had overbooked cruises. The cruise would cost me $100 for a 3-day, 2-night cruise. It's a little quick run in Sonata, if you will. On Carnival, if you go directly and buy it from them, it's like $500-600, but we can get them in bulk for much, much cheaper. I partnered with a lender for that, and we offered a raffle for a free cruise at every open house. Every contact information I got was real. Nobody left anything fake. Everyone wanted a free cruise. Right. Obviously, you want to make sure the house is in good showing shape. You want to be on the market anyway. And then, don't be afraid to go live. Facebook Live gets a lot of views through your database. Making posts, not everyone might see it, but if you go live or video content, it gets a lot more distribution. So keep that in mind. All right, let's move on. Social media. How are we using social media these days for prospecting? Right now, if used correctly, I think social media will allow you to connect with a lot of people and help you build a relationship with those people. You create the content, share the content with your audience, and most of it's going to be people you already know. Sometimes they'll share it with people that you may not know, and that'll increase the reach of your posts. Don't be afraid to ask people to share. That could help broaden your post. Right, what are the main social media channels that we use? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, that's 3. Those are the 3 main ones. Right, what do we know about Facebook? You share content, pictures, opinions with people you know, and you view what other people are sharing. And then users interact by reacting to your post. That'll make you repost again, right? And sharing your post. Instagram is more for photos and videos. All right, also LinkedIn and YouTube. Then there's Twitter. You can tweet about and search for things on Twitter. Tweet about listings and connect with local business people and influencers. I think on page 11 in your participant guide, there's information about social media, things to consider. Right, but at the end of the day, you want to have a strategy. Consider the platform that you want to use to post on. You want to schedule your posts to make sure it's consistent. Consistency is key with any marketing, whether it's farming or social media advertising. You want to set a plan and say, okay, yeah, every day at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., I'm going to make a post. Leverage the tools that are available to you to be able to do that. That way you're not always reliant to be on there actively doing it. There are tools out there that you can use. You can pre-schedule your posts, and then the system will automatically post for you. Right? Be conscious of your branding and what you're looking to build. With Facebook, you want to create that social media presence for your business, make a business page to get people to like. And then create a posting schedule. And then draft up the posts. You can spend a couple hours on one day and take care of all of your stuff in one day for the whole week. And let it roll. Understand who you're targeting, what area, location-wise, and then their interests as well. And then like, comment, post, and share. Right, you want to share your post content, share posts, and then monitor the performance of those posts. If you're using Command can help monitor the status of those campaigns and schedule posts. And then service those posts, right? Communicate with the people who interact with your posts. People who react, people who comment, of course. If there's new contacts that they may not be friends of yours, maybe friends of friends that are reacting, follow up with them, add them to your smart plans. Always respond to inquiries in a timely manner. Acknowledge the reactions, and then send private follow-up messages. So if you make a nice Facebook post, maybe post about a listing, maybe a virtual open house that you want to do, somebody likes it, puts a smiley face or creates a little comment, direct message those people privately. Follow up with them, see how they're doing. Maybe it's someone you haven't talked to in a while, you can catch up. Have one of those rapport building posts. All right. But understand social media is not all business, right? 80% is personal, 20% is business. So if you're just posting about virtual open houses, tours, and real estate stuff, you're going to silence your audience. Be aware of that. Be prepared to share the personal stuff too. What you had for dinner and vacations you're going to take, different pictures, personal pictures, try to connect with your folks. Okay. 80-20 rule will help you avoid the lead generation burnout and keep you connected with your followers. So make sure 80% of the posts that you make are personal posts, 20% business. All right. So take action and develop your plan, guys. That's the next topic on the agenda. After this section, you'll learn how to develop your own prospecting plan. So 80%, the 80% gets most of their business from 5 sources or less, right? So you want to prioritize their lead generation efforts. We know there's a variety of things that we can do to prospect. Identify what those things are that fit best for you. Like we know Rob's not going to be doing any door knocking. That's okay. Don't door knock. There's 8 other ways that you can prospect for business. Realize what those are that you want to do. Right? Maybe agent to agent referrals can be your thing. Working your sphere. Maybe you're buying leads. Or Z buyer or whatever. Right? Just try to understand that you have a plan and understand exactly what things that you are willing to do. Right? Prioritize what you want to do and then focus on the top 5. That's where you're going to spend most of your effort. And that's going to be different for all of us. Right? You can turn to page 13 in your participant guide to learn more and get some more information about prioritizing. But it's easier to master and scale 1 or 2 lead generation methods in your business. Once you master and scale one, then move on to another. Here they list 5, 5 things you want to focus on. I always thought of it as a chair, right? You want to have 4 pillars to your chair so you don't fall over. If you think of your business as a chair, right, you want to have 4 systems generating business at all times. Identify what those 4 are for your business. Again, if door knocking isn't your thing, okay, forget door knocking. There's 10 other ways to do it. Maybe do social media, maybe calling your sphere, virtual open houses, or maybe buying leads. That could be one of those pillars. Right, but you want to have at least 4 or 5 that you're working with. And if you're new, start one at a time. Start one, get consistent with it, add another, until you have at least 4 or 5 going. That could take a whole year, right? Find one, get good at it, leverage it for the first month, 6 weeks, then add another. Don't forget about the first one when you're adding the second one. So forth and so on. And then hopefully in time, you'll have some transactions and you'll be able to lead with revenue and enhance your prospecting with more marketing. And hopefully, as your career grows over time, that balance is going to shift a little bit because you're going to realize that time will be more precious than money. And when that happens, then your business flips to being more marketing based and prospecting enhanced. You guys going to see how that could work down the road? All right. So what do you guys think of prospecting? You guys ready to go out and do it? Yay, nay, nay.
Tear them up, get
up.
We're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna kick butt. We're gonna take no prisoners. We're gonna get them all.
I love it. Love it. Any ahas, guys, you want to share from our session today? Are we still awake? Are we still with us? I know our participation dwindled a little bit over time.
Yeah, but I don't want to take over the conversation and talk all the time. So I'm trying to be quiet and work on my subtle being quiet skills.
Good man. Thank you, sir. Anyone else have any ahas that maybe change your thinking from the session? Care to share?
Come on, everybody else speak up.
Alice, you want to talk?
So I'm trying to focus on more sellers now.
Okay.
Is it normal to just not have many transactions then with the buyer? Because I think it takes time to master one or the other. Or should I just hustle more, spend more time in both?
I'm a big fan of listings, if you guys haven't realized that already. I say if you're going to spend your time, effort, energy money, I'd spend that on activities that will bring listings. Marketing the listings, you'll get buyers, inevitable. So
Like
at the
marketing
end of the
someone
day, you
else
will have
listing?
buyers. What's that?
Marketing someone else listings will.
You can market other people's listings. Absolutely. Maxine, you have your hand up.
I'm about to get a listing again in South San Jose. Okay. I rented the house for the seller a couple years ago, and he went to Seattle, and it's just like a come and list my house call over the weekend.
Very nice.
And so I'm wondering now, in the San Bruno house, remember I told you about the San Bruno house? That it was two houses on one lot for 1.45, and we sold it. I sold it in 5 days for 1.83, highest price ever in San Bruno for a main house being 1230 square feet. I took your advice, which is to put it on there and say that offers taken the following Tuesday. But then there are people that want to do preemptive, and they say I can go very, 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 very high, And so the seller says, okay, let's look at it, And they did, and he says, wow, that is really high, because the comp shows only 1.6, 1.65 on this property.
Right.
Now, I didn't get to do anything other than sit there for an open house before it came on the market with the agents that came through, because there was 5 agents that came through on the Monday, and we weren't going to put it on until Wednesday. So how would you do differently if you were me? Because I didn't get any, I got 2 sign calls, one I'm working with, but it's like, that's not what I wanted to do. You're supposed to get at least 3 leads off of one listing, So what could I do differently on this particular one? My aha moment is, yes, work with sellers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, sometimes when you have hot demand and people aren't giving you great offers, you might take a preemptive offer or not wait till the offer day. If you do, then you better make sure that you keep I always keep the interest list, everyone that's ever been through the house. So if we do have a preemptive offer that's strong and you really want to work with it, don't get lazy. I would say make sure you reach out to everyone that's viewed the property and let them know, hey, someone came with a strong preemptive. The offer date's been changed. It's no longer next week. It's now tomorrow. Get with your buyers and give me an offer.
Oh yeah,
so
I called everybody that showed it.
Yeah.
I did call everybody and told them that we're taking preemptive. So if you have anything, please send it by Thursday, which the offer came in on Wednesday. And I called everybody and say, send it today, tomorrow, So it's fine. But the only thing is, how could I do things differently? Because this is San Jose, it's not San Mateo. So the demand may not be as great, even though there's only like 9 houses for sale right now over there.
Yeah, no, demand in San Jose is very good. Very good. I would not say it's any less than the peninsula. If you were at the listing club today, you'd see that we actually have more demand than the peninsula with regards to more pendings than actives. The ratio is even greater in Santa Clara County. So you're going to get a lot of activity on your South San Jose house.
Mm-hmm. But what would you do differently from the San
to market it better?
Yes, to get more leads while you have it on the market, before it comes on the market.
More posts on social media, playing up the new listing in South San Jose, and then follow up with the people that like, comment, and share the post. I would encourage your sphere of influence to please share the post. When you post about the new listing you have coming on, hey, I have a great new listing coming on in South San Jose, guys. My sellers really need your help. If you could do me a favor and expand the reach of our post by sharing, I would greatly appreciate it. You may offer a raffle. Say, hey, share my post. We'll offer a $50 Starbucks gift card or a $100 Nordstrom gift card for the people with the most shares, or share the post and enter a raffle.
How can you see? I'm not good with social media. I haven't been on it, even though I have Facebook, but I don't really go on it. So what would you start?
If somebody shares your post, you're going to know who shared it. It tells you who shared it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Anyone who clicks on it, anyone who looks at it, if you're on Instagram, it notifies you everyone who sees the post.
Oh, cool.
So, that way you know who to follow up with. And then you have to take it another level and then follow up with all those people somehow, some way.
Mark,
Either with direct messaging or different, call them if you have their number, direct message them privately to see what their situation is. Say, hey, thank you for sharing my post, or hey, thanks for looking at my post about my listing in South San Jose. Do you know anyone that wants to buy it? Or are you in the market? And just be direct about it.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Maxine, you should
You're
come
welcome.
tomorrow's class. We're teaching marketing. Maha is going to go over all her social media, how she does it.
Well, thank
There
you
you
for
go.
the advice.
Yeah, we're doing marketing, how we do our business.
Is that the night class?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Very good. Look forward to that class tomorrow. Well done, Lupita. Anyone else have any other ahas about prospecting? Blake?
Yeah, I had a question about the last slide you pulled up.
Sure.
You were talking about all the numerous prospecting methods and choosing 5 that are like the most cost and time effective.
Yep.
And I was wondering, what's the best way to track your numbers on the on all those prospecting methods, so you can, like, your conversion rates? What's the best way to track all those? Because it seems like a lot of options, and to narrow it down seems like it would take a while.
Right. Well, number one is you're going to want to focus on the things that you feel most comfortable with. Like Rob said, he doesn't like the door knock, so he's not going to have door knocking on his top 5. So, go through the list and see where you're most comfortable. See where you can, have the greatest impact with your database. And then track what you do, depending on what it is. Obviously, if you're going to door knock or cold prospect, track the number of dials you make, track the number of conversations you have, and then track the number of conversions to appointments, and track the number of conversions to database ads. Right? Maybe they're not ready to act with me now, but they like me, we built some rapport, and they want to receive my newsletter. Right? So that would be a database ad. Want to track that. And that's kind of the basis for almost all of the prospecting. Remember, prospecting is a proactive approach. So you're in control as to the number of people that you reach out to. Right. So social media, right, when you're just posting on the social media, that should go out to everybody. But your prospecting with the social media is following up with everyone that commented or reacted to your post by either phone calling them or direct messaging them, and then track to see if you get a referral or appointment, or a way to strengthen the relationship. If they're not already getting your newsletter or getting your email marketing, then obviously get their permission and get their email and start that.
Right. Okay.
Yep. Maxine, did you have another one? Another question or thought?
Well, my question is, of all of these during the pandemic right now, I know door knocking we can't do. I know social media we can do, but what is the most effective? Okay, there was one lead gen that called me and says, hey, we can give you seller's lead at $15 per lead. They're fresh leads and so blah, blah, blah. What would you say to them?
Not a bad deal. As long as they're homeowners in the areas you service, $15 a lead is fair. If you have the resources to do that, that's a pretty good deal.
Okay. Have you done it before, Mark, or anybody out there that paid?
I have, and just understand that when you're buying the leads, especially seller leads for $15 a pop, they're not just selling them to you, they're selling them to a bunch of people. So your reaction is going to be the most critical. So make sure you have systems in place to follow up with those leads as fast as possible. You want to make an understanding, okay, how are you getting those leads? What promises are you making to people for them to give them your contact information? So you have to understand that as well.
I think they just say that they just come to your text, by text and by email, their name, addresses, and telephone and email address.
The biggest one is people are just looking for the value of their home, right? The prospecting goes out, hey, find out your home's value, click here, have an agent get back to you with your home's value. And that's most of those seller leads. That's what they are about. So then you just have to relentlessly follow up. Understand that, hey, you're not going to catch everybody, but you should catch most. And once you catch them, you have to have a system to convert them. Obviously, you want to fulfill whatever it is they've requested. So if it's a home value, say, hey, we have your home value report. Are you interested in actually selling your home? Can we set up a Zoom call? You can walk me through your property. I can give you a more detailed value. It's like, oh yeah, your value of your home is between 1.5 and 2.5 million. If you'd like a more exact number, you'll have to set up a time to view your property, either in person or via Zoom, and take it to that next level for a listing appointment.
Okay, that's what you would do. Okay. Have you found success?
Qualify.
I've never paid for leads before in my life. I'm just wondering, have you found it useful? Are you still doing it or not?
I'm off and on. I have found it useful. I have purchased leads that have converted into clients, yes.
Okay, got it.
But
Thank you.
Understand also, that you're not the only one those leads are going to. So you have to be relentless in that follow-up.
Yeah. He says that they sent it.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He said they sent it to 5 other people, whether it's mortgage brokers or agents or investors that have this thing. So they're making off of each lead. If they're times it by 6, you're talking about quite a bit of money for them.
Yeah.
I mean, $15 times, times what have you.
Yep. And really the only people that are going to be successful with that is the first person they talk to.
I see.
So you have to be that first person. You have to be that first person. That's the reason why I turned them off. I'll turn them on if I'm not busy and I know that, okay, when these come in, I'm going to be able to call them right away and convert them. But then you get busy and you know that, okay, I'm constantly showing houses or I have a lot going on. So I'm not able to call at any given hour and follow up with these people. There's only 2 solutions to that. Either turn it off because it's a waste of money or hire someone that's there that can call them right away. Those are the 2. So, either hire someone or do it, but it is valid. Just understand that you have to get to them very, very quickly. Like once that lead's generated, if they're still on that website, you have a chance to convert them. If you call them sometimes 5 or 6 minutes later, their attention's gone. Remember, just because they left their information on that one place, where they got, that they're sold you and 5 other people the lead, those same buyers or sellers, they're still on the internet. They could do that 5 or 6 more times. They could be getting 30 calls in the next 2, so understand that it could be another expired listing kind of scenario. Well, geez, I didn't think I'd be getting 50 calls, in the next 5 minutes when I let my information, but that's the reality. That's what happens. So, be sensitive to that and, be first.
Now, Mark, do you know if, let's say we hire somebody to do the calls, let's say we don't have the time to return those phone calls or we hire somebody on the command, is there a place where we can set up so that we can have them enter the database, into our database and all this stuff? And what would you pay that person to do the data entry for you, for the command? Is there a setup like that for team?
Well, you give them your login. Once you give them, if you don't, what's that?
I do not want them to see my volume because, people can get jealous or what have you. I don't want them to be in my database, but I like to set it up. Now, they're not an agent. They're just a, homemaker or what have you, that says I can help you do some things that you can't do or you don't have time to do. And you just pay me by the hour. I can do data entry or whatever. But I don't want them in my system. So how would you work it out?
Well, or would you? I don't know that there is a method to just give them limited access. I don't think there is that method. I think if you're going to have someone else do it, you just got to give them the access and not worry about it.
Oh, can I just have them put it on Outlook or something like that, their own database, and then send it to me?
Yep.
What would you recommend? What database would you use? Was it Outlook or a?
You can just put it in Excel.
Excel? Okay, that's the basic.
Just make an Excel spreadsheet because you can import Excel into your command. Just make sure that you have the fields proper and do a CSV file, and then you can bring in, That person can do the data entry and then you can drop them all in at once.
Yeah, I think that's a great. Thank you. I'll thank you, Nick, for your advice. To Nick
Oh,
agrees.
Nick has an Excel template.
That's good.
Yep. All right.
Thank you.
So yeah, guys, the 10-4 still applies, right? You want to add 10 contacts to your database on a regular basis, every day if you can, every week if you can. But what you are in control of is how many conversations you have every day, right? We can prospect and have 10 conversations a day. Follow that up with handwritten notes to stay top of mind. And then preview the homes to keep tabs on the market. Make sure we're offering sound advice. Make sure we have value propositions that are relevant for today's market when we're prospecting, right? That's why we do our home previews. And the home preview, you come across a really cool house, that could be a great subject for a conversation with people, right? If you know chefs in your database that would appreciate an awesome kitchen, if you just saw an awesome kitchen in a house, call them and tell them about it. They incite them to buy. They stir up a referral for you. But none of that will happen if you don't make the call. All right. So scripts, right? We want to have scripts for lead generation. We want to be able to uncover people's motivations, identify objections, close transactions. Ultimately, speak in the terms that customers understand. Sometimes we get carried away with acronyms. Make sure that they understand what we're talking about. And the more you work with your scripts, the more you say them, the better you'll be at saying them, and you'll be more confident going down the road.
Hey, Mark. Hello,
Grace.
this is Grace. Yeah. I like to connect with my old lead. Do you have any good script you can warm up the gap? Because I have tons of old leads. I would like to tell them the market is different, and anything we can help or ask their referral. And do you have a good script?
So are those people already in your database? Or are these just old leads that you paid for, old leads that never materialized? Or what are we talking about?
I have a combination of both. Some is I purchased maybe, or some is a past client, could be past client. Like I start working since this class, I use the, hey, the market has been changed. And I will try to ask appointment or email address, and any good lead conversion script.
You know, I would say, focus on having a reason for your call. The market update's a great reason. If you have a newsletter that you'd like to promote, that's a great reason. And the market shifting is a good icebreaker for that newsletter, right? Say, hey, Mr. and Mr. Prospect, we may have touched base a few weeks back. I just wanted to come back, circle back around and reintroduce myself. There's been some changes in the market. I'd love to tell you about them. And if you're interested and you'd like to feel secure about the value of your home, I offer a bi-weekly report I'll send via email with the market activity in your neighborhood. Does that interest you? Go on from there. But the icebreaker, you want to have an offer of some kind, right? The market's changed. Right now it's a pretty strong seller's market. I'll actually guarantee a sale within 72 hours at 10% over market. Who do you know that wants to sell?
I really like to circle prospect maybe around one of the homes we put in offers for my buyer in Santa Clara. And is there any any good place we can get those leads? Circle
Title company.
prospect for Santa Clara, because
Title company.
yeah, title.
Call your favorite title
Phone
rep.
number. Phone number. We
You
can
can buy-
text or. Huh?
Yeah, you can buy them.
Do you
Call
know
your local title
anyone?
rep.
Okay. Okay.
Call Jack at First American or
Jacqueline? Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, what was your question?
she said Jacqueline, not Jacqueline.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Jacqueline. I was like, oh, yes, I'm here.
Welcome to the class, Jacqueline.
Oh, thank
So, yeah,
you.
no. You're welcome. So, I mean, ultimately, guys, we want to take 15 minutes or so and practice your scripts before you get on the calls and start making them is a good practice. That way it'll build your confidence, and you want to make sure that whatever script that you're reaching out with, right, you want to have a format, right? You want to have some type of reason that you're calling, whether it be offering a market analysis or sharing information about a recently sold or recently listed property in their neighborhood. If you're talking about, reaching out to your sphere of influence, then it's just a quick, easy, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Just wanted to catch up. How's your family? How's work going? Doing anything fun? How do you plan to recover from COVID? I'm making plans. What are you going to do? And then, most people, especially if they're people that you know and like you, will reciprocate the same question you ask. Right? How's your mom doing? Oh, she's good. How's your mom doing? Oh, she's feeling better. She had COVID, now she recovered. Or she just got her COVID shot. She's feeling ill, but she'll be better tomorrow. Blah, 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 small talk, small talk. How's work? Oh, it's going good. I just got promoted. Oh, really? Thinking about buying a house? They'll ask you how your work is. Oh, the real estate market's going crazy. It's a strong seller's market. Who do you know that wants to sell? We're offering a guaranteed program. We'll sell your house in 72 hours, 10% over market. You know anyone that wants to sell? Right, you have your value proposition, always ready to go. What was my value proposition? In that last statement, right? Sell your house in 72 hours, 10% over market. That was the value proposition. So if you come out with a plan like that, that's a great reason to call, right? If you're prospecting for buyers, understand what does a buyer want today? How will you solve their problem in today's market when you're prospecting? It's a competitive buyer's market right now. I'm very good at analyzing markets and predicting the sold price of these homes in these multiple offer situations. In fact, I guarantee that I'll sell help you buy a house within your first 2 or 3 tries. One try. Doesn't matter what it is, guys. The most important thing is you create an offer that's going to generate some type of response that will hopefully get you down the road to an appointment. In the appointment, they may realize that the offer is not the right one to suit their needs, and that's okay too. But at least you're in the appointment, and then you can custom tailor and scale things back or make adjustments so that it will work for them. The most important thing is that you're in position to win that business, and that's all prospecting is. Prospecting is putting yourself in position to win that business. Yeah. You guys ready to go out and tackle the world?
Out of the way, here we come. Watch out, world. Here we go.
Love it. All right. Tomorrow, be sure to join us again. Lupita and Maha will be sharing their expertise and guidelines revolving around marketing. Yeah. And I'll see you guys again on Wednesday.
We hope to see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, everyone,
Thank you,
for
Mark.
joining today.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys.